And welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the Altcoin show, coming at you 6 days a week. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for joining. We do have a interesting altcoin to look at today. We haven't mentioned it a whole lot on this channel. It is on my cheat sheet, but is this coin, the sleeping giant, has been quietly accumulating during the accumulation phase, not making a lot of noise. Is it about to wake up? Let's just we'll look at that in a little bit, and we'll also look at the charts today. We've got lots of altcoins to look at, some possible setups, some take profits, some entries for you. And before we jump into that, you know what I'm going to say? Smash that like button. This helps get this content out to more people and does help support the channel. And of course, I appreciate all of the wonderful, kind, encouraging comments that people leave, take the time to post. Thank you so much for that. And of course, all the questions, I look to get back to those as soon as I am able to. I get asked all the time about the cheat sheet. Where is it? It's located in the description of this video and every video that has done. Well, first of all, we have the chill phase has ended. And so, of course, we already had one airdrop, which I sold all of it into Blub, and that's turned out to be a very good move. I'm using all these airdrops just to throw it into Blub at the moment. And so the October the 18th at 6 p.m. UTC time will open the claiming process. And for those of you who don't know, what's UTC time? That's going to be about it is 4 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time, which means that's going to make it 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So stay tuned for that if you've been claiming rewards on this game here. Hopefully you haven't been using valuable time. It should be dead time that doesn't matter to you. If you've been using valuable time and you don't get the airdrop that you were expecting, don't say that you haven't been forewarned, because multiple times with all these airdrops, and certainly not to be spending valuable time, we don't know what kind of airdrop we're going to be getting. Some are going to be more lucrative than others, and some are going to be much better than expected. I'm not sure about this one. There's a lot of people, and there's only so much money to go to a lot of people there. Certainly, I'll be asked the question, so I'm going to answer it now. What am I planning to do when I get it? Probably not going to sell it, because the token's going to be listed on all the exchanges on the 24th. So there's 6 days before it gets launched on the exchange, which usually when exchange lists on a token, there is a quick pump and then a dump down. And so certainly that I might wait. I might sell some of it and then I might wait. And it really also depends how much I get of it as well. But it is the coin that is possibly the sleeping giant for this bull run. It is none other than Injective, which just got promoted or listed on Upbit, a Korean exchange. That is very bullish, number one. And we did see a price spike as a result of this. And if you look at the chain broker top projects by broker score, and broker score evaluates and ranks crypto projects relative to one another based upon their performance across various dimensions. If you want to know what that is, you can take your time to dig into it there, and you can see here, what have we got? We've got Injective tops the lot at 8.88, Maple Finance, Solana third, Sui fourth, Ondo fifth, Pendle, Stacks, Say, and many of these coins, of course, are on the Tribal Trades cheat sheet there. So Injective could be the dark horse in this bull run. And here we go. We've got some hidden bullish divergence that can suggest over a 135% price return back to $50 above that $21 resistance right now. And we're going to jump into the charts, and we're going to look at Injective in a moment. We're going to start with a big mover this morning, which has been Banana. Now, Banana Gun, of course, I gave you this trade all the way back at $29. I gave it at 33. I gave it at 39. I gave it at 41 and 42. I gave it again at 46. And I gave it again here for 50 before we took off. now when people were asking when to get back into banana 54. This was all drawn up well before we got back to 54. I drew the Fibonacci's in there. I set the top of the range. I set the bottom of the range. I set the middle of the range. And I said even on yesterday and the day before's video that 54 was a buy zone for me. I even snagged some at 56. It was a buy zone for me. Why? Because it's at the 618 and we don't always come to the bottom of the range. Sometimes we just come here and then we'll go back up and come back down, and sometimes we'll come back down to here. And of course, if we would lose this level on the swing trade, we'd get out of it. Now, if you had no banana gun, this was a just in case buy, and I think I shared that yesterday in the Discord. This was a just in case buy because I do get asked all the time. Now, that skyrocketed up to around, didn't quite hit it did hit the Fibonacci here at 60. So you could have just traded this whole swing from 54 to 60 where it's sitting right now. Now, obviously, if we break above this, then we could just continue on to the top here of this range back to 67. And so this is the way I'm going to trade banana gun at the moment, accumulate at 54, and then you can TP. This would be more of an aggressive TP at 60, or wait till you get up to or close to this level here. I don't have a problem taking profit at 64, anywhere between 64 and 67 as a TP. Also, if your position size is large enough, this could be a TP area here as well. I wouldn't completely close out the position, but certainly you could move your stop loss up. Also, if you don't, I don't want to take profit here, whatever keeps going, then move your stop loss up. And so if we drop down, then you can you can get some profit. You can be stop loss and profit there for that. Now, of course, if we do have some kind of drop down, certainly the area would be that $50 area there for banana gun there. Now, Blub, what a wild ride Blub gave us yesterday. This was absolutely wild. Look at this wick. This is very bullish, by the way, but look at this wick here. Just absolutely bonkers there. The kind of buy pressure that brought this back up. Now, how can you trade this? Well, obviously, we've been looking to say, hey, we're accumulating 10 to 11 and we're selling it around 13 to 14 or up here around 16 to 17. But how to trade this price action and what happened here, you've got to go to the lower time frames, okay? And you can see here, there was another wedge that I created here, and we've clearly broken down below that, although you could move this. Technically, you could move this there now because we've got 3 touches. Where do we draw trend lines? Whenever we have 3 touches. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, bang, we got the trend line there. So it broke out of one trend line down to another. So we've got some support here. But we got to go further. We got to go to the hour here, and you can see now we can kind of trade this price action a little bit better. And certainly the place to get out of the trade was a retest and rejection. And certainly there was a retest here and a bit of a rejection. So there could have been a place to get out of the trade there. But certainly for me, people would like, oh, you got out of the trade too early. But no, I didn't. Look over here. This is what we have now, okay? So certainly now I'm looking for a break. And I always go back to the hour or 15-minute time frame to have a look. So as you can see here, there were out, but it came back for a retest. So this would have been a place just to get out of the trade here on a rejection here. Certainly this was another place to get out of the trade. 3rd place, 4th place to get out of the trade here. And overall, if you look on the 4-hour time frame, we are creating higher lows. So we are creating high and lows. So there is some possibility there that we can break in and get back into this trade here, which would be 10-2. So 10-2 is the line that I'm looking for us to break above and this to become a valid trade at the moment. Because otherwise right now we're below this range. We're below this range. If we switch back to the daily, we're below it, and we could create a new range, and we'd have to find a new bottom of a new range, which right now would be down here. So the bottom of our range here would be at 6. So we could, and look, as you can see, this wick almost came down to that 6. And if you did catch that wick, because my HODL buy zones are 6 to 8, and this is why it's so important to have buy orders placed in case you get that little wick that comes down there, and you would have got a buy in there. But certainly, if we cannot come back into this range, we're going to start trading in this range here, which looks like about 6 to the 10 region, and so the middle of the range is going to be 8. So we're not going to, and look at this here. This comes down right to 8. over here. So we're not going to do that yet. We're going to let this price action play a little bit, see if we jump back into this range. And we do see on the daily time frame, we are creating a series of lower highs. And so for me, we could well come back down into this range here. Okay, so that would be what I would be looking to do for Blub. Bonk has been a smash and trade right now. Certainly, we're back above the 200 simple moving average. So if you got that entry yet again, I mean, how many times you've been able to trade this thing up to 25? It looks as where we've got the 786, looks like to be the take profit area, or at least the area that you could bring your stop loss into, so that if it does keep riding down, you can get stopped out and profit, re-enter, etc. If we do lose further, we're back to the 20 or back to 19 there for Bonk. Doge trade has been doing absolutely fantastic. Certainly could move your stop losses up to make sure you're stopped out in profit, because you do not want to lose this line here, the 13-cent line. If we lose that, then a tumble down to 11.8 could be quite possible there, and even further down to 10.8 there. The Ethereum trade's looking fantastic as always. We got the entries down here at 23. We're up at 26. We're looking to ride that up to the 28 region there. Certainly, this could be considered a bit of a resistance there. And so maybe there is a case for taking some profits off the table, or at least moving your stop loss up. So if you do get stopped out, you get stopped out in profit. The HNT trade, it really is playing with us here, waiting and hugging that 200 EMA. I'm more inclined to think, unless Bitcoin has a big drop, sharp drop to the downside, then I think we'll come down to this $5.33 level, $5.32. So that would be the entry there. But otherwise, I'm more inclined, when I see this kind of price action, usually it'll push back to the upside. And then we're looking, our take profit is up here at $7.20 for HNT. And then Injective, here we go. Injective had a look at this pump that it got from the Korean Upbit news. Oh, boom. So look, you can see here, we are going to have, first of all, a golden cross where the 50 is going to cross over the 200 there. The 200 EMA is there. A break above both these lines would be quite bullish. Now, you can front run it, but just make sure you have stop losses in play and get in because you feel that this is going to go. Or you can wait for a break and trade on the break of either of these lines, although if you break this line, you could get stopped here. So this is why I like the break of this line better. Or wait for a break and a retest. And when it breaks here, I then switch to the 15-minute time frame to look for the retest or the hour time frame here. I don't stay it on the daily time frame here. But I want to have a look at Injective here. Overall, this is very bullish. Okay, we're creating higher lows, okay? And we do need to create a higher high here. We just need to go above this candle here, which is $22 and about, $24.90. So once we break above 25 here, which is here, in a break, a successful retest here, we are off to the races there. So you could also wait for that as well if you wanted more confirmation. But very bullish. This was a coin that, if we look on the weekly time frame, was already set its all-time high. Remember, not many coins, a very low percentage of coins, are going to go above the last cycle all-time high, because this is a last cycle coin. This is one of the coins that did it. And if you look at the parabolic rise that it had from around, where were we down at around? We were down to $1.36, $1.37, $1.18. Okay, $1.18 during the bear market accumulation, and this coin went all the way $50. Okay, that's incredible. Was that 50x, 5,000%, or close to, or around that number? So certainly, when you're looking at what kind of upside this coin could have from here, certainly to get back to here, I would think certainly, but certainly Injective is it the sleeping giant ready to be awoken? We certainly have had the sideways accumulation here. The middle of the range is at 27. So also, I think you can see there, it got stopped here as well. There will be a little bit between 25 and 27. That would be the next range that we could pop up and trade into for Injective. So Render, it's been a little frustrating, I know. And we're waiting for Render to pop off again, another coin that went from around $1 all the way up to around 13. So it had a huge run. We're waiting for a break. You could certainly front run it here. You could trade the break of it's right on $5.38, or you could wait for a break and retest. Obviously, if you do, you can switch to the 15-minute time frame, look for that retest to get in, and we ride that one up to $6.20. Say again, we are now, so there was an entry there which I gave. We're going to get a golden cross here. Okay, so this could be quite bullish for say. We certainly do want to see a higher high here. The high was 52, so certainly a break over 52, but certainly getting in the trade here, or if we break down further at 40, or if we break down further, there's 37. So there's 3 opportunities there to get in the Say trade. The Solana trade, we were able to get back in that trade at 150. All right, and we trade this to the top of the range here at 160, or obviously, so this, we didn't quite come, because we have the 200 simple. So sometimes it won't always come back to the 618 entry at 145, or the 5 entry on the Fibonacci at 140, because it hits a major support there. And this is why it's also important. I don't just trade on the Fibonacci's. I want to have other indicators in there. And you can see that this was rock solid support and has been 1, 2, 3, 4 times we've attempted to break down through that 150, which is why I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row. The 150 area is the entry there, and we can ride this up to 160 or close to, 157, 158. I'm not going to squibble over a couple of dollars, and then if it comes back down, jump in the trade, or a further breakdown to the downside. You've got this area here. Entry. The ideal entry, of course, right here, the 200 EMA on the daily and the 50-day moving average at about 142 right now. Jumping into Sui, and Sui again is staying. We're waiting patiently on this trade to see if we can come back up to here, test the top of the range, take some profits there, obviously, and get back in the trade here. If we do break to the downside, and then at that point, I'm going to switch to the 15-minute chart to see if there's a retest, or an hour chart, 4-hour chart, whatever you're most comfortable with on the retest, a retest, and if there's a rejection, then we could start trading in the lower part of this range down here for Sui. Right now, the entry remains the same, $1.95 to $2.05. For Tau, we are trading right on there. Look at this. This is incredible. Our same price action with Sui there that we saw, and then Sui kind of jumped up a little bit, but certainly this is the entry right here. We're right on the entry at 576. If you have no Tau, this would be a place to get a just-in-case bag, which is a bag that is not too big. You're not using all your money here. You're doing a dollar cost average buy just in case the price decides to come down and trade in this channel here from about 470, 472, 475 back up to 575. So we are right on the button for Tau. Certainly what we're looking for is this to trade and go back up to here. And we could trade in this little range here, and this could be a little profit taking, or we could come down to here and obviously trade in this range here, and we can make some money there as well. So we're just waiting to see, are we going to stay in this level, or are we going to lose a level and trade down here in this range? Alrighty, well, that is it for today. As always, thank you for tuning in, and until the next episode, happy trading.